We'll try to personalize it and make it a little more. But these are all brought to you by Chat GPT.
Ooh. I'm kind of nervous.
They're pretty good questions.
You're fine.
I like it.
All right, let's go.
All right. So everybody here knows you. Everybody here loves you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started off as a drummer?
Okay. So I've always had that drummer inside my blood. So that drummer inside my blood. Where's that echo coming from? So that drummer inside my blood.
I think Clay's got a mute.
Clay, mute. So it all started when I was young. I was always banging on pots and pans and tapping on walls. Every time I walked by a wall, I was just tapping a beat on it. And then I was 12 years old, and my parents brought me to get my first ear pierce. And so I got that, and then my dad goes, he's gonna be a real rock star now. And I didn't know what he meant by that, but I was like, what do you mean? And then they brought me to the music store, and I got my first drum kit. And it was awesome. I was so excited. So I practiced, and then I joined a band, 12 Gauge, my first band ever, and we were kind of like death metal. So I needed a double bass. So I went out and found one on Craigslist, and I Frankensteined my two kits together so I could have double bass pedals.
Nice.
And then, I played that for a while, and then I upgraded and kept upgrading, and yeah. So here we are today.
That brings us into our second question. Who or what inspired you to start playing the drums?
It was probably my uncle, because he was a drummer. So every time we went over to their house, I always just wanted to try to play it, and he would play Whiplash and stuff like that. So I always had that interest, and then they let me come over and play it a couple times too. So that was probably my first influence.
Well, can you tell us what your first experience with drumming was like?
I loved it. I tried to play Wipeout. Yeah, that was the first thing I tried to play was Wipeout.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, well, because they played on my dad's porch.
Yeah.
I guess my grandfather was friends with them. So they came over and were playing on the porch acoustically.
Was that the Kingsman Trio?
I think so.
That's where I got my drum set I have now, my Tama. Was from his grandson.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
Connections.
Yeah,
Hi, Tree Spirit.
That's mind blowing.
Yeah.
Considering I've known you for a year now, and I've never heard that story, and you've never heard mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The time is now.
So what are, most of us probably already know, but what's your, some of your biggest influences as a drummer?
My top three are probably Chris Adler from Lamb of God, Morgan Rose from Seven Dust, and probably the Rev, Avenged Sevenfold. Those are my three top. But Chris Adler was my first influence. And Morgan Rose. And then later on was the Rev. But
yeah,
definitely.
With a lot of people.
Yeah, but definitely Chris Adler is my number one influence.
So how do you think they've influenced or shaped your drumming style?
Um, so they're obviously all three are different, very different drummers. So um,
One's kick very kick oriented, and the others
yeah,
are
yeah. So like I get my so from Chris Adler, I get my influences of like riding the bell and my footwork.
yeah,
And then Morgan Rose, I get my technique from, like certain techniques. Yeah, Clay. So like my rudiments and stuff like that, I got a lot of that from Morgan Rose, and that's like the hi hats and stuff like that, that upper arm work. And then the Rev kind of brings it all together. And so it just created like this completely unique drumming style that I have based on those three.
So, what would you say is your most memorable moment or experience as a drummer?
That would probably be with Necrosis. I had a lot of really good memories with them. Probably the biggest one is when we played a local show, and I spent all night creating this banner with our logo on it, and we had people holding them up while we were setting up the stage and everything. And and we were playing Forsaken and Forgotten, so as soon as it goes, "You son of a," and then they dropped the curtain, and there was over 700 people there at a local venue for us, and I was like, "Oh my god!" But like, it made me play even harder because I saw all that, so I was just like, "Yes!" Like it was like the best adrenaline rush. And then
adrenaline rush, yeah.
Yeah, and then the second time was during Archangel's Cry, and the guitar players and the singer all had wireless mics and guitars and stuff. They went down into the pit, and
Really?
like I was all on the stage by myself. It was lonely, but it was fine. It was fine. It was fine. But the second they did that, it was just like so intense, and everyone was getting all riled up because they were all down there with them. And the lead singer, he's like, "All right, when I drop my fist, everyone just run at each other," and it was our first wall of death. Yeah, so it got to the breakdown part, and he dropped his fist, and then everyone just 700 people just ran at each other. It was epic. It was epic.
So, you built a great community here, a bunch of great people all come together to see you every night. What do you think sets you apart from other drummers in this industry and on TikTok?
To be honest, without offending anybody, I think it's the passion and the drive and just the caring nature. Like, I always try to engage, especially now that I have a microphone. Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah. And the vocals are a big hit nowadays.
Yeah, like everyone loves it. So
Everybody loves the vocals.
I think that's the big key thing is I engage constantly. Even if I have my head turned to look at the computer, I'm like responding or just saying stuff. you know? Like,
Yeah.
so constantly keeping the audience engaged, playing all these challenge songs. I never turned down a song, so I think that sets me apart too, because I'll play anything.
Exactly.
So, what's up, Missy?
How would you describe your playing style in 3 words or, we'll say 3 words?
Describe my playing style in 3 words. Okay. Unique. Passionately. And unseen.
I'd like to add one to it, if you wouldn't mind. I'd like to add in time.
In time?
Yeah, your timing is perfect. Your beats per minute. I mean, you never slow down. You never speed up. You're always in time. You're a metronome.
It's funny you say that.
Well, it's coming from another drummer.
Yeah.
That's the highest compliment I can give you.
I appreciate that. And I have a funny story to tie in with this. Thank you, Cody. So when Necrosis was recording the album City of Ruin, obviously we went to a professional studio. So I got all my mics on my kit, and the sound guy hated me because I had such a big kit. But and this was before E8010s and everything. Like, I had to mic every single drum, and he was like, yeah, Jesus. So he's like, all right, so you're obviously gonna want some ghost track, right? I'm like, yes, I want at least the rhythm guitarist playing the song in my headphones so I can play along to it. And he goes, all right, and you're gonna need a metronome, obviously, right? And I'm like, no, don't give me a metronome. And he's like, all right, like he was all in disbelief, like, okay, whatever. And so after the first song, which was Forsaken and Forgotten, re-record it, it stops, he comes out into the studio and he's like, bro, you were like a human metronome. Like, what?
You know, you have a song on your page doing pretty well right now, Move Along, by All American Reject.
Yeah.
And I threw that one at you out of the blue in the middle of the set last week. And that was your first time?
Yeah, that was my first time playing that song.
Like, non-drummers will think, oh, this is a little bop, but they don't realize how hard that song is to play. And you nailed it without any it looked like it was supposed to be that way.
Yeah. Yep.
And so your timing and your ability to read the music is and play by ear is far superior than I mod for a couple other drummers, and I'm all over the music scene. And that's a rarity in the on TikTok, at least.
Yeah, I think it's a big thing is Jamie says this is like a lot is that I feel the music, I become the music, I become the song. And Nutshell
is a perfect experience.
Exactly.
Perfect example.
Exactly. Yeah, I get so into that song and the lyrics and the music and everything. The same with Blind. The same with Blind. You are that song. Mm. You know, when you play Blind, you could. Well, we've done it to you before. We blindfolded you, put one arm behind your back, and yep.
Isn't that right, Clay? Clay knows.
Clay knows all the challenges because I look at him like. I love you, Clay.
I love you, Clay.
But yeah, it really is a deep song. It really is a deep song, Cody.
Well, here's a pretty deeper question. What do you hope to achieve on TikTok and in your drumming career?
So ultimately, I don't want to be just confined to TikTok, obviously, but
Of course.
you know, I think me and Jamie and Will and Flavio for now, until we get like our core members in with this whole thing, that micromangled is going to be different. It's going to be something you've never heard before. So I think that's going to give us a lot of attention, because people are going to be like, wow, this is crazy, you know.
Right.
It's going to be music and style they've never heard before. Like, you can't even classify it in a genre. It's that different. You know what I mean?
That's why I love what you've been doing lately with throw me any song. We've thrown country at you. We've thrown. I'm going to throw some Beethoven at you next week. So
I can play classical music too. I always have my own little thing.
like when we had that full Valena album playthrough. Shout out to Valena. Hi Valena, Rachel. And you played that song without a drum track to it. You know,
Yeah.
it didn't even have a drum track. That was not a dry eye in the house by the time you finished it.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah. Oh, this doesn't have drums on it? It will. I'll always remember that.
So long-term goals. I guess that goes along with the last question, but we're hoping to see you, be able to finally retire from everyday work and do what you love for a living. Would you say that's an end goal?
Yes, absolutely. 100%. Deadpool is not here tonight. Yeah, I would definitely say that's 100% what's going to happen.
I mean, I've asked you in private myself just recently what your end goal is, and that was straight to the point and beautiful. And I'm here to help in any way I can. Same with Jamie. Same with Clay.
Yeah. I think I have high hopes for the future, and I think everything's finally coming together, and I think everything's going great. We got Micromangle just working on an awesome cover song right now, and it's very different. And Rachel's actually helping us with it, so that's awesome too. So big shout out to Elena for helping us with that.
So I just have a couple more questions here. What I'm sure a lot of people want to know is, you're here 5 nights a week for 4 hours plus every weeknight. How do you stay motivated? How do you stay inspired to show up every day?
You guys. That's my honest answer. It's all of you.
Yeah, is it the fact that we love you and that we're here, or the fact that we'd be calling you off the hook if you were late?
I'd be getting so many messages. Brian, where are you? What's going on? Are you okay? No, it's because you guys, I love you guys. And I love being on TikTok live for you. For you all.
Perfect. That's a perfect answer. I say we just end that one there. We have a lot of drummers that come through, and a lot of inspiring artists of all kinds. We have guitarists. We have comedians that come in here. They're all trying to hone their craft. And what advice would you give an inspiring drummer that's just starting out?
Don't give up.
You've been through countless bands, and you've been playing for 26 plus years. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
So yeah, just share what you would want somebody to tell you.
I would say the biggest advice I can give is never give up and don't let all the haters and the trolls and everything try to drag you down. Just keep pushing forward. Because a lot of times those people are just jealous or they're just miserable with their own lives, so they're looking to bring someone else down. And you just gotta keep strong, keep pushing on. Because you know what you're worth. You know that you're talented, so just keep going.
I love that. That was a beautiful answer, and it was 100% accurate. So I got just basically one more question for you. Who's your favorite moderator?
No.
If you could see my finger, I'm pointing down. So
yes, it is Clay. I can't see your finger, but
if
it
he's
is
pointing
Clay.
down, then there's 3 fingers pointing back at him.
No, Clay is hands down my favorite mod because he does so much for me. Sai, you do a lot for me too, but Clay's the man, dude. Like consistent.
Clay is my best friend. I talk to him for 2 hours a night after the chat boxes are done.
Mm-hmm.
Every night.
Yeah.
There's not a night we don't talk.
We were on YouTube for 4 hours the other